Before we get started on group training, here's just an important word for new group customers, meaning you've never booked a group with Centrab before. You'll want to look for the Group Request tab on Centrab.com. If that is gone, it simply means we're not accepting new group customers at this time. Good news is you can always book individuals and large parties of 10 to 18 people. We'll explain what a large party is in the group training. Group Air can be a very profitable piece of business for you, and you can do a great service to your clients by learning to handle it well. So let's start with the basics. What qualifies as a group? Well, that's 10 or more people traveling together on the same itinerary the entire trip. So you might ask, do I book Group Air the same as individuals? Is it the same process? No, it's actually quite different. You'll start by just clicking Group Request on our website, and then you fill out the template. Now you can use Centrab.com to look at prices and to look at schedules and give us some idea. Perhaps you have some preferred flights. You can send that off in your request. Then what do? Well, you'll have to be patient and wait. The response from the airline could take 2 to 3 days. One of the misconceptions with booking Group Air is to think that you're going to get a cheaper price because you have more people. In fact, generally the opposite is true. They will look at your group of 50 or 100 people and they'll realize you're tying up most of the planes, so they're not going to give you the lowest fare there is. What they'll do is price averaging, look at the fares that they have offered at that time, and they'll average those fares out and give you something in the middle. So that's why it takes a couple of days for them to block seats for us and send us their contract. If you're booking with Centrab, our group agents are experienced, and it's good to know that they can walk you through the process, even if this is your first group. They will offer you a quick quote via email if you need that for your planning stages. And it's good to know they've got top account status with most of the airlines. They can negotiate against our contracts to give you a better rate. You can request group space up to 11 months prior to departure. Our agents will quote in that so you can set your own markup, and you can do return deviations on most contracts. You can also do an open jaw as a group, meaning into one city and out of another. Here's an example of a group contract that we would send to you. Thankfully, it's only 2 pages. First page is terms and conditions. Second page is usually just the itinerary. Taking a look at the first page, you'll notice in the terms and conditions, it's not a lot of legalese to confuse you. It's all very understandable. There's some terminology you may not be familiar with. We'll be going over that as well, so you can understand that in this lesson. But page 1 clearly lays out the terms of the contract. If you don't understand something, you can always email your group agent. Their contact information is always up at the top. A concept to be aware of is large party. This is a great option for groups of 10 to 18 passengers. It's allowable on most airlines. You'll begin booking a large party by first checking with Centrab to make sure the airline you want allows it. So just go on live chat on Centrab.com and ask us about that airline if you can do such and such a number of seats on these days, and they'll let you know right away. If you get the go-ahead to do that, you would want to book those on Centrab.com yourself, up to 7 people per booking. So if you've got 14 people, that's a couple of bookings of 7. So a good question that comes up at this point is, well, which way should I book it? If I've got 10 to 18 people, should I do a large party or should I do a group request? We'll look at some of the features of both and help you to decide that. With a large party, you're booking it all on Centrab.com yourself. So you're going to see the prices and flight options and be able to book that immediately. Keep in mind you've got to make payment same day to do that. Those bookings will be accessible to you in My Bookings. Pricing is typically better if you do it this way. Because you're getting the lowest price possible, you can book as many as you can at that, and the fare may go up for the second booking, but you'll generally end up with a pretty good price. You can do multiple forms of payment this way, not the case with the group requests. This is definitely the way to do it if your group is leaving within 45 days. Generally, we can't turn around a group request that close in. So with a group request, you've got some advantages here as well. You can just request that from our group department, and a group agent is going to guide you all along the way. Space is secured without names, and that's nice if you've got a couple people that are waffling on that. You can secure 50 seats or so and let a couple of them drop out, end up ticketing 48. You're just going to place a deposit instead of paying in full, another nice feature of a group request. You don't need to make full payment first day, you put in a deposit. and then follow a schedule to pay that. Name changes are also usually allowed for a fee, where that's not generally the case with a large party. Sometimes you can do name changes with a large party, but it's usually easier with a group request. And schedule changes happening a lot these days. These are handled as a group, whereas if you've got 2 or 3 bookings going, they could end up on different flights if schedule changes start happening. Just a reminder, if you don't see the group request tab on Centrav.com, it means we're not taking new group customers. If you booked a group with Centrav in the past, you can just email your Centrav group agent directly.